Hey there, Space Cowboys, and welcome back to Monsters Must Die. If you know me from Elite Dangerous, then you know that I'm a pretty shitty pilot. Of course, everyone in Elite Dangerous starts the pretty shitty pilot. Hell, we've seen you, Bobby Flyboy, trying to get your shiny new Sidewinder into the space station through that very narrow mail slot. You know what I mean, right? You know what I mean. We've all seen you bouncing around the station like a little rat trapped in a cage. Yeah, that's right. But don't worry, that's a normal thing. Everybody goes through that phase. So we can be honest here, okay, between you and me? The point being that I would routinely crash my ship and just smash it into 1,000 little pieces, right? It's not just me, right? So you can imagine I was pretty excited when I heard about this game called Shipbreakers. It's a game where you get paid to break your ship. Boom! Match made in heaven. Space! It's the same thing for some of us. So, I've already been playing some of this, and we're gonna run through the basic gameplay loop and see if you're interested in this game, see if you like it, see if that's the kind of thing that tickles your fancy. Let's just jump into it. A new day begins, and here we are in the habitation module. As you see, there's a bunch of equipment that you start with. You start with a modular laser, handheld utility grapple, thrusters, cross-spectrum scanner, helmet, work suit. You will see all these things at work in a few seconds. The point being that you can upgrade each of these pieces of equipment with a convenient progression tree. Throughout your adventures, you will also find a bunch of logs from the ships that you're breaking. The story will unravel through these as you unlock these logs and learn more about the world you're in. And of course, you need to complete a bunch of objectives to rank up your certification, which gives you access to new equipment and bigger ships to break. So the setting is basically that this company owns you entirely. I mean, they own you and your DNA. You cannot escape this contract. You're forced to break ships for the company on a daily basis, and even if you die, you will have to pay for the cloning fee. It's basically deducted from your payout. So don't die. They own all of you, right? It's just basically like real life. This is the most realistic simulator ever. Okay, so the first thing you're gonna have to do is you choose a ship. I think what we are gonna try today is we're gonna break a Mackerel type shuttle, and we're gonna try to work through it. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to focus on one of the halves of the ship, just one of the halves. You can use the grapple tether to sling yourself around, like so. Looking for the entry hatch. It's probably here. Yeah, that's where it is. And the first thing we want to do is cycle the airlock so we can get inside and start working on this.
Pressure levels dropping.
Standard entry procedures for any spaceship. You probably know this.
Pressure levels increasing.
You sneaky space cowboy. Okay, so we are inside, and the first thing we want to do is shut off the air to prevent
air pressure level decreasing.
To prevent us from being violently decompressed when that happens. So what I like to do as a first move is get rid of the floor plates, all of these floor plates, so we can access the reactor as well. See, do that by cutting through these struts. We don't want to burn that fancy seat. I find the saw cutter to be the most effective and fastest method to cut through these. Oh, what is this? Data drive. This is how you get the logs that you can listen to later. Cut that. that. This. See, the floor is already detaching from the rest of the ship. Go push it off. Push it off with your body and with the grapple. These two plates are out. I want the third plate over there because the reactor is on that side of the ship. Precisely cut that cut point off, and then we cut this one off. Now the floor is loose. Yeah, we don't want any of these. We're gonna just link them together like so. Okay, all these things can go into the processor. So grab that, toss it in there. Grab this, toss it in there. Grab that one, toss it in there. Right, the floor plating is gone. Here's the reactor. We need to shut that off without blowing up. Okay. So we know the fuel components are behind this wall. You can melt these precisely with your stinger. Try to not overheat. Did it melt? No, it did not melt. Gotta watch your heat. You don't wanna have this thing explode in your face. So one of the great things you can invest in at the beginning is the cooling speed of your stinger.
Salvage destroyed. Don't do that.
Yeah, whatever. Shut the fuel off. Okay. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other end. Remember, mind your heat. This thing will explode in your face and nobody will care. Nobody will cry for you, man. Nobody. Right, the wall is melted.
Salvage destroyed.
Shut off
Refrain
the
from
fuel.
damaging salvage.
Cut the pipes off, just in case. Want the least amount of exploding, okay? Exploding costs money, and money is God, so yeah. And now we can cut that off. There we go. The reactor is free, and we gotta throw it into the salvaging barge. Like so. Bye. That's good money right there. Give me a like. Thank you.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
You can refill your oxygen. We're running out right now. And your fuel. Of course, it costs money, so...
Welcome to Venditron 9000. Thank you for your purchase.
Get a refill.
Thank you for your purchase.
And the
Have a
fuel.
nice day.
Sometimes you will find oxygen tanks and fuel tanks in the ship, which is convenient. This run I did not pay attention to that. Now we're gonna work on this other half of the ship. Oh, on this side we have the airlock, so we're gonna avoid this side. We're gonna work on this side,
Salvage
yeah?
secured.
On this side,
Deposited.
we have a coolant tank that we need to salvage. And what we can do to quickly work through these is just cut there. Go. Oh. One, no, I did not. And we got an nacelle over here. We're gonna use a stinger mount. burn through that and through this and the pipe. Right, now it's loose. Push it out, push it out. Still got about 5 minutes. Wiggle free. Sling that tag and bag. Bye. That's good money. Need to cut these things off.
There's 5 minutes remaining in this shift. Get in while the getting's good. We wrap.
There you go. Right, so we got rid of the pipes. And now we can push these off. The whole side of it. Go. Get rid of that. Get rid of this. This is pretty heavy. Push it. Come on. Push it off. Push it off. Yeah. There we go. And of course, the tether is your friend, so send that off.
Your oxygen reserves are low.
Then grab the
Note
coolant.
that excess carbon dioxide can cause damage to Link's equipment. Oxygen reserves are critical. Please contact your plan administrator to add asphyxiation coverage.
Yeah. All right, so when you're basically, like me, running out of oxygen, you get back to the hub. And that's basically the end of a workday. See, look at this. Everything you can salvage, you can cash in on. If you break something, you pay for it. And if you complete work orders, then you progress in your rank. Now, I don't know anything about math, so I'm just assuming that green is good and red is dead, and that's it. Like so, a new day begins. You get to pay for your daily fees. All of this is basically you renting for your own equipment. Again, just like real life, you have to pay for your habitation, utilities, and all your tools, and probably even your right to live on in this very grim, very corporate future. Damn, that's just like real life. And once you come back here, you can check out the logs. Like this is the one we got from the ship. If you're into lore and such, this is good for you. And that is that. That is the life of a Hardspace Shipbreaker. Check this game out on Steam. It is on early access right now. Yeah, so it's got a ways to go. I'm looking forward to whatever these guys come up with, because I really enjoy the feeling of just working in a zero-G environment. It feels like a puzzle game. There's a lot of things you got to be careful with. If you puncture the wrong fuel pipe, or if you puncture the airlock, you can basically make the whole ship explode, make yourself explode. There's a lot of death in this game if you're not careful, and you have a bunch of tools to help you with the job. You need to analyze the ship. You have to have a plan on how to break through it, cut it to pieces, and then cash in. If you do not do this efficiently, if you're not minding the time you have left, because you have so many timers. You have the work session timer, which is I think 15 minutes, and you have the oxygen, and you have the fuel. If any of these things run out, you're in trouble. And it's exciting in a ways because it's a challenge, and presumably as you gain rank, you get access to bigger ships. We actually can see some of these ships in the free play mode. Right now there's a whole bunch of shuttles basically, but we can imagine that we can get even larger ships. That may be the idea, more complex ships. But yeah, this is it. I'm gonna keep an eye on this game for sure. I'm gonna keep on playing and see what is what. Try to understand the system better. Try to learn what parts of the ship are more valuable than others. If you have any tips, let me know. Catch you in space, Space Cowboy. See ya next time.